Good morning students. In this video, I will discuss about the human body or the introduction about the human body. So going to the first slide, as we know, the human body is very much unique, or we can say that the human body is related to the anatomy and physiology. So to know about the human anatomy and the human physiology, we have to know what is anatomy and what is physiology. What is anatomy and what is physiology? So both of these terms is derived from the ancient Greek terminology. You know, the Greek peoples in the ancient times, they are very much curious about their health or about their body. So they are the first people who are actually try to explore the human body by the different types that are used for the experimentation purpose as well as the fundamental philosophy. So the physiology means that are derived from the two words. First is the physis and the second one is the logy. Physis means the nature and the logy means the study. So the physiology is the subject which deals with the function of the human body. What type of function? It may be a mechanical, physical or biochemical. So physiology is the subject which deals with the functions of the human body. What type of function? Maybe a mechanical, physical and biochemical. So the if as y- and even you can't even imagine the function of human body without see any type of the organ. So the organ is very much related to identify the function. So that is why we can say that it is related to the human body, so or human anatomy. So human anatomy is the subject that is related to the structure, that is related to the structure of the human body. So if we see the simple definition, anatomy is the subject which deals with the structure of the human body, and physiology is the subject which deals with the function of the human body. So both when the structure and the function is being coordinated, that is called as a anatomy and physiology. So in case of anatomy, you you don't know and you can't even know about the anatomy without understanding the physiology. And same in case of physiology, you can't understand any type of the physiology without knowing the anatomy. So this anatomy and physiology, the structure and the functions that are closely related. That is why they are closely related, because these both are coordinated to each other. The both terms are coordinated to each other. So going to the next slide. So go back to the history. If we talk about the history of the human anatomy and human physiology, I already told you that the Greek peoples in the ancient times, they are very much curious about their health. So the Hippocrates, first scientist is Hippocrates. Hippocrates was the first Greek physician. Actually, he was the first person who he was the first physician who collecting the information about the medical science and medical symptoms. So if we talk about the medical science and medical symptoms that are used to identify what type of disease that are present in the human being. So the Hippocrates was the first scientist who actually tried to emphasize the importance of medical science and medical symptoms. So next scientist is the Aristotle. Aristotle is the next scientist. Actually, he was a student of Plato. Aristotle believes that the human body that are made up with the fourth substance. What type of substance? Hot, cold, wet and dry. Hot, cold, wet and dry. If these four substances are imbalanced in our body, that means ultimately the disease is attacked to the human body. So Aristotle is believed that the human body is made up with the four substances. So going to the next scientist is the Galen. Galen is actually very much impressed by the Hippocrates, and he was actually the first scientist who described about the cardiopulmonary system. So next scientist is the Hermann Boyer. Hermann Boyer is the next. Actually, he was the father of the physiology. He was the father of the physiology, and the term physiology is basically coined by the Gianfrancesco Forman. And the physiology subject physiology subject is cultured by the Egyptian scientist that is called as a Edwin Smith Papyrus. Edwin Smith Papyrus is responsible for the physiology subject is culture. So next go to the next apart from the Western world, come into the Arabic physician. They also cultivated the physiology knowledge. So first is Abu Bakr al-Razi. Here the Abu Bakr al-Razi, popularly known as a Rahizes. So actually he was the first scientist. Till now he is in the Rajiv Institute of Medical Science, and Al-Kindi was the first person who actually written the first medical book which is quite related to the Greek physiology. Here the two scientists, first is the Abu Bakr al-Razi. He resides in the Baghdad, and next is Al-Kindi. Al-Kindi, first is Abu Bakr al-Razi. Uh, he is the student of actually the Rajiv Institute of Medical Science, and Al-Kindi was the first scientist who written the medical book or medical who written the medical book in the Arabic language, who written the first medical book in the Arabic language. So if we see in the figure, the first is the Hippocrates. This is the Hippocrates, and the next scientist is Galen, and the third one, the scientist is Claude Bernard White. He was the first incorporate the experimental physiology in the medical science, and also plays an important role of the pancreas in the and he was the first who described the role of pancreas in the digestive system. And the next scientist is the Domedial Harley. Domedial Harley was the first who described the cardiovascular system. So these all are the generally the bionominal in the anatomy and physiology subject. Thank you.